So I want to preface this video by saying, one, I'm white. Shocker, I know. I'm so white that my doctor says I'm chronically Caucasian. I'm at risk for breaking my hips at any point in time that I see fit to move my hips. I'm so white that when I walk into traffic, I'm actually a traffic hazard. The sun reflects off of me and into the eyes of the driver. The reason I'm saying this, jokes aside, is because I don't want to be in a position when I inevitably do something or say something that is ignorant, because I do not understand the lived experiences of not white dudes. I will inevitably do or say something that is ignorant. And if I don't acknowledge that and I take this opportunity to be more aware and to learn more, and instead I dunk on somebody who did something that's offensive to other people and personally offensive to other people, but not personally offensive to me, then what that means is I'm going to have my ego wrapped up in it. And when I eventually make that mistake, when I eventually say something that is ignorant, which again is inevitable, I'm not going to listen if I have my ego wrapped up in it. I don't think I'm better than Honest Vocal Coach. I don't think I'm more knowledgeable. I certainly don't think I'm more woke. I'm not saying you can't be offended. I'm not saying you can't take it personal, unless you're white, in which case stop pretending. But yeah, so I'm not here to pass on any sort of judgment, despite what the thumbnail and title say. What I will do is, I believe the name of Honest Vocal Coach is, I believe, Regina. Regina, not the ideal context in which I would like to introduce myself to you, but I would like to invite you, and we can film it or not, to like binge watch Jaron LeGrier. I think that's his name. Jaron. Let's go Jaron for short. Watch me mispronounce that. I'm terrible at this. Jaron is not only a classical singer with 2 degrees, he is also a phenomenal gospel singer. And I think that by watching his breakdowns, you and I can benefit in understanding more. Because I think that's the goal that we should all have, is to keep learning and keep bettering ourselves. So that's the preface of the video. And now for Mariah Carey's Christmas tunes, which will inevitably torture all retail workers. Of React content, I'm going to react to the reaction that Honest Vocal Coach has had to the Mariah Carey Christmas song. Let's go react. See what happens.
Well, Joel. Hey there and welcome back to my channel. Today is a late New Music Friday.
Okay, budget. You know, I'm fine with that. I'm secure in myself. She even got dubstep in there.
So basically every Friday when I think that there is a song good enough to react to, I will react to it. I will talk about the vocals and I will talk about the song in general from my experience of being in the music industry for quite a long time. Today I am going to be looking at Mariah Carey's brand new Christmas song called Fall in Love at Christmas. And it's not just Mariah, it's a few other people as well, but I've put it all in the title so that you can check it out. Now this is the official video, so obviously it's not a live performance. It will mean that it will probably have stuff on the mic such like compression and EQ and stuff tuning to make it sound awesome.
Yes, true. It's worth mentioning that some of those things can be done live as well. But I get her point, right? I'm not going to be nitpicky about that. But I would, well, let's continue.
Let's start it. Okay, feels like a Spanish Christmas song so far, with that instant classical guitar and the bells.
I wouldn't call that Spanish, just because it has a nylon string.
To make it sound.
Like, honestly, that gives me more like jazz vibes. But yeah, in Spanish music, nylon strings are used.
Okay, feels like a Spanish Christmas song so far, with that instant classical guitar and the bells.
Yes, the drifts of snow, just a metaphor of us, so many.
That's a lot of vocals, just like Mariah, really. There's a lot of layers. There's a high harmony and there is the main lead vocal.
There's also there's stuff that's being done with the vocals panning wise. When we took a listen to this, it's incredible how the panning is done. It's not like your standard ping pong stuff. Furthermore, there are the higher voices of Mariah in this mix. The low ends are EQ'd out, so you get more of that breathy quality for her, and then that makes more room for the male vocalist. It is a feat, a mix. It is so well mixed that each layer sounds so good on one another. So I just want to throw that out there because it's not just a matter of layers, it's how it's layers panned, how the delay works. It's incredibly involved to get layers that sound this crisp. It is not easy.
There's a high harmony and there is the main lead vocal.
Christmases ago, we had a
Okay, and there's a lower harmony too.
so deep, just like the joy the season brings. So let's
I love that little right, like that little thing that happens when on the off. I love that.
So let's fall in love again this Christmas night.
Okay, I don't want to be harsh straight away, but could we just tune into the diction a little bit? I am not getting many of the words here. It's just a little bit too loose. So I'm like, huh? So I'm going to probably have to look up the lyrics.
I can't argue with her on this because I actually don't really. I'm weird. I generally don't listen to lyrics because I get so obsessed with tone quality and stuff, which is terrible. But
Getting many of
I want to see what she's talking about.
Again this Christmas night.
Okay, I don't want to be harsh straight away.
Just like the joy the season brings. So let's fall in love again.
I can hear it just fine.
Little bit. I am not getting many of the words here. It's just a little bit too loose.
I think it's a consequence of his style. If you're really doing like these super pop, really like up to the microphone, very gentle, if you punch your consonants, it's gonna be way abrupt. You don't want to, like if I'm singing like Mary had a little lamb. If I punch my consonants here, it's Mary had a little lamb. Like now I'm throwing it in there with and stuff. But like it can ruin the aesthetic. And I hear the words fine. But you know, opinions. It's music. This is not like an objective thing here.
So I'm like, huh? So I'm going to probably have to look up the lyrics.
This time of year we're both away. We gotta fall in love.
How does she not look any older? How is this a thing? Mariah, how do you look so good? I want whatever you're having. Your head tone there is just beautiful. It's very breathy. I could tell what the words were that time.
And all the angels in the sky.
I'm actually I don't agree that the diction is bad. I do agree that when they sing together, it's a little bit more clear because they're so exactly in time with each consonant. But I thought, I don't know.
So we got an all the angels. So a little bit of chest, straight back to that comfortable head voice. Bit of agility. Bye.
Love again, Christmas time. And I can't.
Ooh, and I can. That's a good one.
Specifically though.
And I can't.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is really good. I actually didn't pick up on this the first time I listened to it. Her vocal fries are in time. And like anything, and the vocal fry stuff. No, it's false folds. And no, it's false folds again. Anyway, vocal fry. What we hear in the beginning of this, that I seem to no longer be able to do.
Love again, Christmas time.
That little fry there is in time.
Christmas time. And I can't.
Yeah, that is really good. There's a bunch of different ways you can get that a start and stop aesthetic, and what's cool about Mariah is that in any given phrase, she actually doesn't do one. She can use like glottals, aspirate abrupts, and all this crazy stuff. It's great.
Ooh, and I can. That's a good one. Now I'm noticing that it's been filmed at a different speed. I don't know how much you guys know, but basically what happens is that they record the video a little bit faster, with the song being faster, and then in post it's slowed down to give it this real slow kind of filmic look.
I'm awake, but no one knows.
And that's particularly done with music videos. Or, sorry, but like anything where there's dancing. Like,
Waiting patiently to hear the
Okay, switch back to normal speed.
sleigh bells jingle, there they go.
Oh, I love that transition from this to and to then having the real belt. Oh, we're in the booth now, Mariah Carey's booth.
That's the way I'm dreaming.
I don't think I'd call that belt, but I get what she's saying.
Booth.
That's the way I'm dreaming.
Yeah, she's. I have to be careful about being too particular about terminology because there's so many different vocal methods, and it's honestly, no method is superior. It is just which one helps the student. So if that's what she calls belt, cool.
Christmas night, and every Christmas I'll be there.
So it's all about falling in love again on this Christmas night. The vocals are exquisite. The song is very flowy, very laid back Christmas. It's definitely not the hit that we all know Mariah for. I'm not saying it's a terrible song, by the way. I'm just saying it's definitely more laid back, but it doesn't seem to be as strong as some of the other Christmas songs that have been coming out this year. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. This is idiomatic of Mariah's music, I think. I mean, obviously, Mariah's music spans a lot, but like, I think it's fine to have like a Silent Night type of thing.
We gotta fall in love again at Christmas time.
I'm sorry, his diction is really loose for me. If I wasn't looking at the lips, I wouldn't know what the words were.
Since we roll by, we gotta fall in love again.
I think the reason that his diction isn't clear is a consequence of not just stylistic, but also the way it's mixed. I don't think it's a technique issue.
We gotta fall in love again at Christmas time.
I can actually demonstrate this. Let me just get an EQ up. Cool. So if my highs are cut on an EQ, like they would be here. You see how it's actually like, now if I'm singing like this, which is the style? All of a sudden, it is difficult to hear the consonants, but I don't think that's a matter of diction. I think that's a matter of mixing. And it becomes a non-issue when Mariah comes on top, because then what the frequencies that are being taken away by not only the style and the things he's doing, right, but also by the mix itself. So when she comes in, the diction is clear because she is adding higher frequencies, which were being taken away before. So I don't think this is a technique thing.
She just looks fabulous. I'm like, I want to look like that. That's nice. The fa-la-la, fa-la-la. It makes it feel a little more Christmassy with something like that is an obvious fa-la-la Christmas word.
I love this from him. This little moment was actually one of my favorites in the tune.
Fa-la-la Christmas
when he comes in with this thing. I love that little thing where people are like slightly doing a soft palate, giving it a little bit of nasality, but then being very gentle with the air and the exhale. I love that sound.
Oh, fall in love, not fa-la-la. What am I on?
I actually thought it was fa-la-la. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the one listening for the words. Eek. So you can see how you can actually hear what he's saying now. Like there's no denying what the words are. There's two reasons. One, he's panned to both sides while he's hard panned. She's in the middle. And then also it's a freaking whistle. So it's very high, which gives him room when he's in his low to occupy those frequencies in the mix. The panning is so cool. I'm not sure if I have OBS mixed. I think I have my OBS in mono. Go listen to the original recording and pay attention to what's on both sides. It's incredible.
So jealous. So jealous. We all love a whistle note moment from Mariah, don't we? It sounded so well controlled. To be able to still do whistles like that, I am ultimately the most jealous person in the world. Well, gel.
I love this man's falsetto. It's so elegant. And then in contrast with her strong tone there, she hires such good singers and she works with incredible singers all the time.
Roll by. I nearly got it-ish. A bit more belty than that.
Yeah, whenever I try to imitate Mariah, it doesn't go well for me either.
Kids in the background. Oh, baby, we gotta fall. Chest head.
I will not get into my spiels about register. I feel like if there was a metaphor for how teachers talk about register, it would be with boxing gloves and biting. Like we're talking straight Mike Tyson dirty. Everyone's got their spiel about registers. I'm not going to get into mine now, but yeah.
Oh. Let's go! I wasn't expecting that. And we're 3.5 minutes in and the song's still going. This is a long one.
I hate that I sold my bass guitar because I love slap bass.
Definitely more R&B now.
I think it was R&B,
Nice
really.
gospel feel. Is this just the opportunity for Mariah to riff? The end of the song where she can just riff all over it. He's got the words on a phone, on the piano. Interesting.
Where's that? Oh, I mean, I don't know. Nowadays, that's how I do that too. Give me 1 second. Royal Academy of Music or whatever, like some highfalutin pinky up thing. He does all of his music on a tablet and phone now.
Yes! Not sure about that.
Sure about what? Hold on. What's she talking about? What's she talking about, Willis?
Not sure about that.
Okay. I would understand if she has a hard time appreciating that. I think that when I first listened to a sermon where Leandria Johnson was singing and there was a pastor, that moment makes a lot more sense in the context of gospel. So I don't. If it and it jarred it the first time I heard it, it was jarring for me, but it makes a lot of sense when you listen to it in context. Also, just Leandria Johnson is amazing.
Is it still going?
Yep.
That's something we say this holiday season. Let's give love away.
There's a lot to unpack in this one, isn't there? Okay, first of all, diction, enunciation. I missed quite a lot of the words that he was singing, so that was really unfortunate. It was too loose. It sounded wonderful, but I wanted to know what the words were, so the diction was an issue for me.
We disagree.
The fact that it was really long was also an issue for me. You kind of lose interest if a song is too long, unless...
That's a subjective point. I think she would agree that that's a subjective point. I don't mind long songs, but I'm also the person who will listen to like a metal tune that's like 12 minutes long. It's just like, it's a personal thing, right? It's subjective.
Yes, of course, the song keeps changing up and changing up and changing up.
I think it did
like
that.
Bohemian Rhapsody, for example. It changes consistently throughout. You've got something else to listen to, something else to get your teeth into. Whereas this has a few changes, but for me, it's too long. Didn't really like the yo Christmas, let's go it. I know it's R&B and I know rap and I get all that, and I'm not trying to be condescending and like I know everything. I just didn't feel the song needed that. I thought that the vocals from him and
I'm gonna say that so that happened when the gospel portion hit, and that is idiomatic of gospel. So I could see how if you don't listen to a lot of it, that could be jarring, but I think it's completely appropriate, but whatever.
Mariah was enough. The extra vocals from the backing vocalists with that beautiful gospel, very full sound near the end was just wonderful. I thought it totally got that. But I just felt that diction too loose, too long, and unfortunately it didn't grab me enough. I think overall Mariah is a queen. She will always be my favourite vocalist. She has the best vocal range and the best techniques of all singers ever that has ever been. But this song, I have a few issues. Not as Christmassy as I normally would have expected it to be.
I'm not trying to be persnickety, but I would want to know what she means by not as Christmassy as I'd like it to be. Like I have this image where like there's a dial, like turn up the Christmas, and they just hit the dial. But like, yeah, I don't know I mean, it's hard to ask someone to qualify all of the things that they say in a video.
I know we got snow and a few bells and things like that, but I'm sure we have got the Mariah special coming for Christmas, which we will just adore as always every Christmas. So yeah, just a few issues with this one. And yeah, the whistles. The whistles.
It's interesting that she belabors that. I mean, yeah, whistles are great, and particularly Mariah's, but I really love the mixing. I thought it was a really, really good mix.
I'm going to be going back, listening to that bit again. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed my opinion and my reaction to this. And of course, it is my opinion. I'm not forcing my opinion on you. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. So let me know your opinion in the comment.
I'm gonna play a brief moment of the Leandria Johnson thing that I'm thinking about. I think it's worth mentioning that in the gospel section, there is literal preaching, and this is why.
Rescue me from myself.
Right? Like, when you have this context of gospel, and by the way, if you don't know Leandria Johnson, you don't know. So that's the aesthetic she was going for. This is completely appropriate. So I just want to throw that in there because I think if you haven't seen it, it might be jarring.